Apple just released its first new iPhone app since the Sports app, Invites. Here's everything you need to know. Before I do a deep dive into the Invites app, if you want to keep up to date with the latest Apple news, consider hitting that subscribe button. So Invites has some really cool features, and it's probably what you want to use for your next get-together, and I'm going to show you why. So the new app is iPhone only. No Mac, iPad, or Android support here, but don't worry, there is a web interface that I'll show you in a few. As the name revealed, it's intended to be an easy way to invite friends, family, or colleagues to events. Like a new version of the old Apple Cards app. Who remembers that one? Let's start by creating an event to invite people to, like maybe Harrison's 4th birthday party. We can tap on the plus button here in the corner. The obvious starting point here is with the design. I can use any of these pre-populated ones with emojis or colors, or you can go the full custom route. Instead of using an image, I'm going to go ahead and use Image Playground to generate one. Finally, maybe a good use for image playgrounds? I'm ever curious, how much do you use Image Playground? Let me know in the comments. So in this case, H loves trains, so I'm going to generate a kid's birthday image with some trains. Invites also lets you add a title, customize the typography, almost feels like I'm editing my lock screen here. Then let's go ahead and add all the necessities like time, date, location, all displayed elegantly here in the app. I actually really like the UI here. It seems more modern, kind of like the Sports app, maybe hinting at a visual overhaul with iOS 19 later this year. We'll see. And we can add a description, also using Apple Intelligence if we want to make it sound more fun, or you can just type it all yourself. What most people will frankly be most excited for here is, though, the shared album. Did you know, to fix the camera control, it can cost up to $749 if you go through Apple? We'll come back to that. For longtime viewers of the channel, you remember me talking about my sponsor, ESR, and their latest iPhone 16 cases. Starting just with the classic, this is your traditional clear case. Well, now, they've updated those cases with a pretty important new feature. Now, they have full coverage of the camera control. It's made of 9H hardened glass, which makes it super smooth and retains all the functionality, such as light presses and swipes. Compared to others, they've also managed to make it basically seamless, meaning no dust can get in around the edges to hamper the case or damage the button below. There are only a few cases out there that offer protection for the camera control on the iPhone 16 line. With Apple charging literally up to $749, it's probably a good idea to protect it. And of course, they have the same protection as before and the same adjustable metal stash stand built into the camera guard that even works with MagSafe accessories at the same time. If you want to try the ESR Halo Lock Classic Hybrid case with cover for the camera control, I put a link in the description. Compared to many other invite avenues, Invites has the unique ability to tie directly into iCloud Photos. When you create an event, you can automatically create a shared album for everyone who attends. An easy, automatic way to aggregate photos from everyone into one place. I'll show you how this looks in a moment, but to start, we'll add some starter images. Lastly, before we create this, is a way to add a party playlist. This playlist can be a collaborative playlist as well, allowing anyone to add tracks for the event. When you go to share, you can copy a link to the post, share via various apps, or add a specific guest list from your contacts. And you do have control to approve each person as well before they attend. So what happens when you send a link to someone who doesn't have an iPhone? It still works. It just kicks them over to a web interface found at iCloud.com/invites. Many of the features still work, including the ability to upload photos. This does require an Apple account though, which it does make it a bit harder for users to do if they don't already have one. There are some other differences too with the web app. For example, if you get an invite on your iPhone, it can add it to your calendar for you and will sync with the invite. If the time, location, or date would change, it would automatically be reflected in the calendar. It won't work so seamless if just using the web app. But I do appreciate that you can completely create these using the web app as well, so you could do this all from your computer and you don't even have to use your iPhone if you don't want to. So how does this look on the receiving end? Let's jump over here to a second device. I got the invite here via iMessage, which has a nice, rich interface. I can say if I'm going and even add a +1 if I need to. Now we're good to go. I can see on the admin end that Harrison RSVP'd to his own party. A few more things that I want to note. The photos are awesome. Now that I've added an event, you can see how that shared album works. It's actually just an iCloud shared album that is shown in the Invites app. I can jump directly to the Photos app and view it normally. Here's my thing. I love this. I love the idea of it. I love how easy it is to use and how it solves some of the biggest pain points, such as photos, music, and head count. It's also nice to see Apple release this as an app instead of baking it into iOS directly, and people have options. There are plenty of other Evite apps to choose from. For here, up to 3 people can be event admins, which is super helpful, and messages can be posted to the event page, just in case there are updates that you'd like to share before or after the event takes place. The biggest downside is that it does require an iCloud Plus subscription for unlimited events. It does add more value to iCloud Plus, but frankly, it's an odd tie-in there. iCloud Plus get more storage, HomeKit secure video cameras, and unlimited event invites. There are other apps out there that do this. And while Apple's is simple, I think for a lot of iOS users, it's going to be the best. I'm curious at how much this catches on. For certain parties, people just want to mail invites instead of using Evite. Kids' birthday parties with like Bluey or Elmo on them, Image Playground isn't going to generate those images. Technically, you could make them yourself and then add them in as an image, but then we're getting complicated. Or weddings. Those are huge events where people want music suggestions and shared photos, but I don't expect people are about to start using Apple invites for their weddings. Maybe there's a world where you send a physical invite, but also send out something via Apple invites, or maybe send out like a physical invitation with a QR code that jumps you to an Apple invites link. That way you get the best of both worlds here. Then again, it would skip things like food request options. Okay, maybe I'm getting caught up too much in this whole wedding scenario situation here. But regardless, it's a great idea that's very well packaged. Let me know in the comments if you'll use it for your next event. You can download it. I did put a link in the description if it makes it at all any more helpful. Otherwise, be sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.